The reason that I chose accounting, I started out in the medical field. I was going to be a doctor, and I switched to business, and I had a marketing concentration. And I added accounting because I knew, one, that the job stability was much easier in accounting. I knew I could always find a job. But also the influence of a professor at Huntingdon, Miss Barbara White, who's actually working on her doctorate, and just the advice that she gave me about how it's so easy to be flexible with accounting, to have other things in your life, like if I want to be a mother one day, which I would love to, and have a family, how it's just so easy to work with and get everything in. And she was just so inspiring. And Miss Amy Holsey as well, who's the professor there at Huntingdon, they were just instrumental in my decision to choose accounting. So. One of my favorite things, though, is actually a class that I'm in now. It's my fraud and ethics class, and Dr. Todd DeZor is my professor. And it is just an engaging class, so much that I want to be an auditor, and I'm going to work as an auditor, but I'm thinking about going into forensic accounting and getting my CFE, and now I'm a student member of the ACFE, the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, and he's just so passionate about what he does, and we're discussing a book, we're actually reading a book in addition to the text, on character by Russell Goff, and it's just incredible to look at that and to apply it to just your life and accounting. And so I think it's important because as accountants, we have so much scrutiny, especially after what happened, with WorldCom and Enron and Sarbanes-Oxley. And there's just such a responsibility for accountants in the profession. And to have this character-building class is just, I think, something that every accountant needs. And it's helped me look at myself and see the flaws that I've got a little bit more clearly. And I want to work on that and just help me be more ethical in the profession. So
I guess for me, starting out with accounting was, I didn't start out in accounting, actually I started out in psychology because I like people. Took an accounting class, did really well. Professor said maybe you should consider changing to business major. I was like, well, I did well at accounting, maybe I'll just stick with that. So like I said, took that first accounting principal class, did well, changed my major that semester, and then after that I never really looked back. Accounting, after going through the classes and talking with my professors and trying to get some mentors in the industry, it seemed like a great career choice just for the fact that there's so many opportunities.
What's been the biggest surprise as your career has kind of unrolled?
I would say the one that I hear recurring from some of the people that I talk with on a recurring basis is the speed at which you progress, the speed at which you take on new things and you learn. When I try to go once or twice a year and speak at the University of Montevallo and talk to either the juniors or the seniors in the auditing and or taxes. And what I always tell them is that if you were to put public accounting against other professions, the biggest highlight and biggest advantage we have over others is the speed at which you're going to learn things, and the amount of just a shorter amount of time where you'll have the ability to see a wide variety of different industries, and you're just going to pick up a lot more in that short amount of time than you would in other professions. And I think it's hard to find now. I mean, aside from maybe being a lawyer, you're not going to be able to get your 150 hours in a profession and then step into that amount of responsibility in that short time frame. So
I think auditing especially tends to lend itself to it.
And again, that's another one of the recurring things that I talk with folks about is the difference between tax versus audit, because that's students' biggest first step is, am I going to do tax or am I going to do auditing? Because if you're going to a national firm, it's black and white. There's no gray. When you go to a regional firm, you've got a little more gray. Like I'm helping out with taxes now because there's a big flux for it, and we finished our external audits. But in a national firm, your first biggest decision is, are you going to be a tax guy or are you going to be an audit guy? So you have to make that decision prior to deciding where you're going to go to work. So again, I would advise people to get a mentor, somebody that's been through it already, and they'll save you some grief.
My last semester of undergraduate, I got an internship as a staff accountant with a local insurance company here in Birmingham. And so when I graduated, that actually turned into a full-time position. And I worked there for about 2.5 years after I graduated.
Were you taking graduate courses at the same time?
I was. I actually was able to take 1 or 2 graduate courses in my last semester of undergraduate school and took graduate classes while working at the same time. So it took me a little while to finish graduate school, but I did it.